What's up, everybody? Y'all just want to. There's a new Tupac interview, and I want you to click the link in the description to go to it. It's pretty goddamn awesome. He's talking to a gang member or a former gang member. I gotta look into this guy he's talking about, but I'm not gonna give it away. Just click the link in the description and look at the interview. And listen to the interview. I'm just gonna say this. Tupac, like I told y'all before about Tupac's thug life message, it did more destruction to the black community than he probably thought it would do. Or, you know what, I ain't gonna say it did destruction. No, let me take that back. Tupac's thug life didn't do destruction to the black community. It might have poured a little gasoline on it. It might have poured a little gasoline to the fire. It might have glorified the culture, but the thug life thing, it might have confused people, but it didn't. It didn't create the violence. It didn't start anything. The violence was always there. The thug life culture was always there. Tupac was just using the culture, using thug life culture to commercialize it and profit off it. That's pretty much what happened with that. He just used thug life to make money off of it. He used the culture to make money off of it, which there's nothing wrong with, because them niggas that was doing the thug, and they be selling dope to the black community. So I guess he feel like, shit, if y'all gonna pimp y'all people, if y'all gonna be thugs and pimp your people and scheme off your people, I'm gonna pimp y'all. I'm gonna pimp y'all. I'm gonna pimp y'all culture and get rich off y'all culture. So Tupac got rich off thug life culture. But really, his lyrics, he only did really one CD that was thug life. And like I said before, most of his songs was about, personal struggle or about fighting. Fighting the demons within and fighting the system that you're in. His music or having fun. His music was never about gangsters and gang activity and living a gangster's life and being a gangster. His music was never about that. It always made you think, always made you empathize, always made you look inside yourself and just relate to him and just relate to his music, because you felt that he was rapping about you and your life. So it was very powerful. But this interview is awesome. Check it out. Tupac revealed, what he was trying to do in his life and his influence. So it's pretty cool. But like I said, that interview, Tupac still did an injustice to himself in that other interview I talked about, where he talked about him being an actor first and a rapper second, and he's a actor who happens to rap, and he did a great injustice to himself. He talks about how he created this facade, a great injustice to himself in that interview, man. And it made people that believe in Tupac kind of doubt him and lose a lot of faith in him, because you felt like, okay, this nigga was acting the whole time. And Marlon Wayans said that Tupac was a method actor, that if he said that would stay in character. Tupac is really a very contradictory person, a contradictory person, very contradictory in a lot of his actions, a lot of what he said. Will the real Tupac please stand up, is what you probably will be asking at the end of the day. And he probably will ever. His story needs to be told. I hope they really do this movie they're trying to make of him. I hope they really do it justice and reveal the whole truth and nothing but the truth about Tupac. Reveal, because he was brought up by a very intelligent mother. He wasn't brought up to be a thug. He was very smart. He was brought up to be very intelligent, and he was very articulate and very smart. Even though his mother was on drugs and she put him in an environment of poverty, which Tupac had all assets to his character. He had the thug personality, which means that I think he had thug in him. You know, when he hung around gangsters, maybe he wanted to bring the thug out of him, and he did, because he had a very weird character. He talks about how his soft side like to blow up his hard side. Real weird shit. I mean, who says that? Who says shit like that? Soft side like to blow up the hard side. So he could be real weak and be real hard. You know, that interview he did saying he was an actor, that was very weak of him. I mean, he looked very weak in that moment. So I could consider that of him being weak. And him, you know, like shooting cops, I can see that of him being very strong. So very weird character, man. Very weird, bipolar type of character, but a genius at the same time. A genius indeed, but very contradictory, man. He so contradictory, like he had two sides, two opposing forces clashing with each other, and when that happens, you just destroy everything. And so Tupac had a fucked up personality, man. I think his mom smoked crack. I think his mom smoked when she was pregnant with him, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read where she smoked when she was pregnant with him. I don't know if it was crack, but maybe it was weed or something. But man, he's confusing as fuck in the shit that he says. And you know, he said he created this facade. And you know, this interview just explains a little bit more detail about this very complex character, and mystery of Tupac. So, listen to the interview. Peace. Shit deep. Shit get deeper. Oh yeah, and let me just also say this, because Tupac is very ironic. I feel like I have a close kinship with Tupac. And this just confirms it. In earlier days, Tupac was was part of the Black Conscious movement. I don't know if there was a Black Conscious movement back in his day. I think there was. I think Black consciousness have always been around. I'm not familiar with the history of it and totally, but before Sonetta TV, there was still Black consciousness going around. I think Sonetta was inspired by what Black consciousness was going around him, and he created Sonetta TV, which was a market that was already out there, a niche that was already out there. But Tupac was a part of this Black consciousness movement, and if he was allowed today, Sonetta would be interviewing him, and he'd be down with what Sonetta was doing, and he'd be trying to accomplish things. Tupac speaks on the Black Conscious movement. He was, in fact, before he became a rapper, he was on the path to becoming a part of the new age Black Panthers. So he was very conscious. He knew what to do. He knew the right thing to do, and he came with some. He was about helping his people. He was about Black power. He was about revolution, Black power, conscious thought. Just like we conscious people, just like I am today, just like we are today, a lot of us. Tupac was like that back then, and he wanted to change the world. So the Black conscious movement will be the spark that he talks about that will change the world. So I just find it ironic that, you know, I feel like I am now a part of the Black conscious movement, and Tupac was back then. So But you really don't hear that part about Tupac's life, that how black conscious he was. You don't really hear that. I know there are some interviews where it comes out and he talks about stuff, but he don't really make it clear, and his message really is put on hold while he parties and gets into the hip hop world and try to create a legacy for his family. But yeah, he was part of the Black Country movement, and he talks about it in his interview. Peace. Check it out.